Hi, Corey. Thank you very much, and thanks everybody for attending, and thank you for our friends at Retail Realm to lead and organize this webinar today. So we're really excited about talking with you in regards to customer loyalty, how has that evolved throughout time, and what should you be considering as a current RMS user, while you still stay on that platform, or as a future or current RMH user. And how do you evolve in this changing marketplace for retailers? Excuse me. So some of the things that we need to think about when we're thinking about customer loyalty is if the tools that we're using are really sort of the latest in technology. And that's important not because of the technology itself, it's because of what that enables you to do, what flexibility new technologies are bringing to the table, and how they help you address some of the challenges of, engaging with the consumers, which are talking to you as a retailer through every channel and device possible in a way that it's only going to grow and become more complex throughout time. Then you also need to be thinking and asking yourself if you're really optimized to engage with those consumers, as I mentioned, on the channels and devices that they use today, on their mobile phone, online, through social networks, at the store, all of those places that the consumer is looking for information about you, about your store, about your story, and being able to make a purchase decision. And finally, are you really targeting these consumers in a way that is relevant for them and that will actually modify their purchase behavior to benefit them and to benefit you as a retailer in the long term? And those are the topics that we're going to be covering today. There's 5 key things that we want to share with you. It's all based on the learnings of having been doing loyalty for over 10 years with both the RMS platform, online, on a mobile device. And there's 5 things that we think are really important for you as you're thinking about how to upgrade your loyalty programs with RMS, how you're thinking of launching loyalty programs with RMH, or as you're migrating from RMS to RMH, and how to connect the dots and make that the most relevant for you. So the 5 key topics that we want to talk about today is the single user view, everything about omni-channel sign-up, really focusing on how to segment your consumers. Not all of your customers are the same, and how to offer them the rewards that will change their purchase behavior, and how do you use all of that data to learn about what's working and to be able to tell a story that is relevant for your consumers. So with that, let's get started. So the first point in regards to to single user views is that you're engaging with these consumers, as we said, through many different channels. They might be signing up on your NitroCell web store, or if you have a mobile sign up, through their mobile device, right there at the register on your RMS or RMH register. And on the one hand, that is great because you're capturing all of these customer demographics. But the downside of that is that it can create a real mess in regards to having multiple profiles for the same single individual. And that is definitely a no-no in the loyalty space, because the consumer wants to be recognized as the same individual regardless of where they're engaging with you. Are they engaging with you in the store? Are they engaging with you online, through their mobile device, in an off-site event? They want to know that you know who they are and that you're engaging with them in a personal way. So it is really important to be able to get from those multiple customer profiles into a single master customer profile that can really leverage all of your channels, all of the data that you have, and recognize your consumer and reward them appropriately. So what are the key steps from a loyalty solution perspective that you need to be thinking about to be able to achieve that single user view? So the first thing is you're going to try to prevent the duplicates from happening in the first place. And this is done through 2 key aspects. First, you want to be able to identify that consumer through certain criteria that will allow you to easily identify this is the same individual. There are certain identifiers that do that better than others, but the idea is to be able to use a combination or a cascading set of identifiers to make sure that to the best of the abilities, you know that this is the same individual. Email's a great one. Mobile phone number is becoming one as well, because we all carry our own mobile phone number wherever we go. If you're using a card, either a gift card that you want to use as a loyalty card, like a Starbucks-like program, or you're simply using a loyalty card, that's another great way to do that. So you can be thinking about what are these identifiers that I want to use depending on my program, and making sure that I'm doing that in a cascading priority so that I can easily identify this is the same individual. And then making sure that the technology that you have from a loyalty program perspective will allow you to automatically combine those two, what would be two separate accounts into one single master customer profile. So by ensuring that you're identifying upfront that customer and having the technology to dynamically resolve that customer into a single master customer profile, you're sort of 80% of the way there. However, there is a chance that you are already running a program today and that you might already have duplicates in your system, or, by some chance in regards to the process that you follow, a duplicate account has been created. So the other part is to be able to easily merge and empower you to easily merge those profiles without having to do a lot of data capture and, manipulating the data, a few clicks of a button, making sure that that customer is merged into a single master customer profile while not impacting your source systems, not impacting your point of sale system, RMS or RMH, not impacting your online web store. It could be NitroCell or WooCommerce or Magento, whatever your choices are, making sure that that is done centrally in your loyalty platform to make sure that you have that single master customer view. And the power of these three things is that then you can really aggregate and combine the data that you're gathering across all of these channels, where they sign up, their demographics, their preferences, their actual purchase and transaction history into a single place. And ultimately, if that is done in a way that the data is normalized so that a sales transaction in a store running RMH looks the same as an online purchases in a WooCommerce web store, that all of that looks the same, will enable you to then leverage all of this data to create great data storytelling and make sure that you're really taking your programs to the next level. So the second item that we wanted to talk about today is to be able to talk about omni-channel sign-up. And one of the things that is really interesting, and as you as a retailer or you as a partner working your retailer customers, is that the consumer today is really engaging with the retailers through many channels and devices. And today the statistics are interesting, and we've heard a lot of news about retailers in these last few months, if you're following the news on the retail space, which I'm sure all of you are. We can see that there's, of course, a growing trend of purchases going online. It's still a small percentage, relatively speaking. It's about 10% of all purchases are done online versus 90% in store. But even if the purchase is done in store, the consumer is engaging with you as a retailer through many different channels and devices. And before they even make a purchase decision, they might have, looked online. They have, might have engaged with you through a mobile device. There might be, online advertising that you're doing. There might be email marketing campaigns, text messaging. If you have a mobile app, mobile notifications that go to that mobile device. So this consumer is being informed through many different channels and devices, and they're making a purchase decision as they go along through that purchase process. So it is really important for you to be able to leverage that and being able to engage with the customer through all of those channels, and being able to then get an on-ramp to make sure that you're capturing that customer sign-up wherever they are. And by providing, for example, a real-time instant reward when the customer signs up, regardless of where they are, you can really decrease program churn by up to 50%. That's a very big number. It really creates a great platform to capture as many customers to your loyalty program as possible, and then making sure that those customers that sign up churn a lot less than the customers that don't get that instant reward, or that have to go through only signing up in store and are not able to sign up online or sign up through their mobile device. It's really giving that customer the choice that they're looking for today. So some of the things that are really, really important in regards to providing this real-time omni-channel experience is to be able to create, as many on-ramps as you can to that sort of freeway of your loyalty program. The consumer, as I said, wants choice today. They're already engaging with you, or they want to engage with you through, many channels and devices. And you need to give them the opportunity that if they're ready to provide you with some demographic information and they want to join your program, even if they're not in store, that they have the ability to do so in a very, very easy way. So making sure that you can do that, both online and especially through mobile devices today, that you can leverage social networks as a great channel of peers that are recommending you and a way to create signups. It's very, very important, and that will allow you to capture more consumers to your program. And if you pair that with an instant reward, which is, as we mentioned, a reinforcement or an exchange for the customer taking the action to sign up and sharing with you some of their demographic information, give them something back, give them something in return, and that starts building that trust with the consumer, which then impacts that purchase behavior. And just to give you some very interesting numbers, for people that have gone from a single channel in-store only sign-up process to offering omni-channel sign-up options with some instant reward, can see a lift in their programs that ranges from 35 to 42% over the course of a first year. So again, big impacts by being able to talk with your consumer where the consumer is. It's not about only bringing the consumer into the store. It's about being able to touch that consumer where they are today. The number 3 item that we wanted to talk about today is all about what we call SKU level segmentation. And this is sort of a growing trend here because when the consumer signs up to our program, they normally can, give us their demographics. There is certainly some information there that is valuable to target that customer. You might even be asking the customer about some of their stated preferences. For example, if you're a winery, you might say which varietal you want, or if you're a pet store, you might want to ask them about their pet and their breed and the age of the dog. If you're in a liquor store, it might be all about, are they preferred, whiskeys or tequila. So there are stated preferences that you can be gathering throughout that sign-up process. And that is certainly a way to start targeting that customer by some form of demographic information. But as you start to gather, real transactional information, you can really target that customer better and go from a, general demographic targeting to some of personal information about stated in preferences, and then really drilling down to what is their actual preferences, which is being manifested through the purchases that they're doing across the different channels. And what does that allow you to do? When you get to a SKU level segmentation, it really allows you to target that customer because they have already stated a preference through their actions of a purchase in certain type of specific products or SKUs. So if you have related SKUs, if you have new releases of that SKU, if you have related products that complement that SKU, you can really start targeting those consumers which have already stated that preferences by surrounding them with all of these targeted, relevant offerings. You can also more effectively pair the loss leaders with sort of high profit SKUs. There might be a loss leader that you can use sort of as part of getting that customer to their second purchase. That's another very important piece, going from that first purchase to that second purchase. It's also has a big impact in regards to the long-term profitability of that customer. And you might want to do that by pairing maybe a product that is sort of a loss leader with a high profit SKU that is related and relevant to that purchase, and that can really improve the profitability of that transaction with that consumer. And then you might also have certain hot items where you don't need to give anything away. You don't need to have a promotion. You don't need to do a price reduction. You don't need to offer sort of extra points or benefits if your program is like that, and you want to exclude those from your promotions because those will drive the sales by themselves. And that also allows you through the SKU level segmentation to also be careful about how much are you giving away and preserving profitability for the business. So SKU level segmentation will become an ever-increasing and important way of how to target the customers, make your programs more effective, and making sure that you're also looking into preserving your profitability. Number 4 item in our list is all about, just thinking about flexibility in regards to the rewards that we want to offer these customers. And this flexibility is really important because even though we all belong to the same program, we all want to make it our own. This is, the consumer today is sort of a highly individualized consumer. They want to be treated in a unique way. This is a trend that is not going to go away. If anything, it's going to increase. So it is important that when you're thinking about your loyalty program, not only from the get-go when you start the launch of the loyalty program, but as you continue to grow the program itself, is that you're thinking about this concept that just one size definitely does not fit all consumers. And there's many ways where you can combine to create what would be a next generation loyalty program. So you might be, for example, combining a gift card and making that a vehicle to capture members into your loyalty program, and also make that a vehicle for offering rewards. Similar to the Starbucks program, you go get a gift card and then register that gift card. That gift card is your loyalty card, and it's also a mechanism for offering credits or rewards, like a birthday credit, an anniversary credit, through that type of mechanism. Coupons are still a great way to reward customers, especially what we refer to as awarded coupons. A coupon that is awarded for you, only you can redeem that coupon. It's a non-transferable coupon, has a limit of use, and it's a very effective way to try to do a next purchase reward. So not only impacting the purchase, as it happens in store or online, but also being able to entice a customer to come back again, and coupon awards is a great way to do that. Rewards multipliers, if you are overstocked on a certain SKU, apparel is a great example. As you're going through the season, early in the season, there's, less of a promotional impact. As you're going towards the end of the season, there's a high promotional impact, but you can actually have rewards multipliers that drive behavior towards moving, for example, that inventory from the store. One of the other concepts that is really interesting, and that is sort of a growing trend that we're seeing in the marketplace, is the concept of delayed redemptions, where you are storing value within your wallet, for example, a points wallet or a loyalty dollars wallet. But those are not readily available to you. You still need to achieve a certain goal or threshold, and then sort of that value that is stored in that wallet is unlocked, and you can reach that reward. It's a little bit of gamification at the same time by generating certain behavior. Cross-purchase behavior also really, really important. Buying products on certain category, driving purchases of new or additional categories, either for pairing loss leaders with high profit items, for introducing new complementary items, and trying to expand the breadth of products or services that the consumer is buying for the retailer. Surprise or free gifts is always a great way to reward those customers. And then thinking about really targeted SKU level, discounts or promotions that are applied to a transaction are also a great way. And the nice or important thing about thinking about flexibility from a platform perspective is to really have the ability to combine any or all of these items, not only as you go throughout time as a general characteristic for your program, but creating subsegments. And that's why SKU level segmentation ties really well with flexible rewards, is through subsegments within your loyalty program, so that you can do effective targeted promotions that will create and modify the purchase behavior of that consumer without inundating them with sort of shotgun approaches of wide-ranging promotions that might or might not be effective, and that will decrease the attention that consumer pays to your communications if you're sort of bombarding them all of the time with things that are not really relevant to them. So the ability to not only segment so that you can identify those customers, create benefits that are really targeted and personalized for them, and engaging and communicating with them only for those offers that are relevant and that will generate additional purchases for that, by that consumer. But the other important thing about thinking about flexibility is that the only constant is change. And what we've seen throughout the years is that even the most successful programs need to evolve. And there's many, drivers for that. Maybe, you've gone from, 1 or 2 store retailer and now you're up to 4 or 5 stores. Maybe, or you're a mid-market retailer and you've acquired a new brand and suddenly added 50 locations to your distribution and you now need to handle a multi-brand program. It might be because your competitor came up with a program that is impacting your results, and you need to adjust to be able to, of course, confront and tackle that challenge that you're getting from just the market and how the market evolves. And then the other thing, just the reality of the consumers, is that they lose the attention span of the consumer is certainly short. The consumer gets bored easily, and they want things that are refreshing and changing and evolving. So just even if you didn't have those external factors, which you will face in any case, just being able to have a program that evolves and feels fresh and is providing new and interesting value for the consumer is very important. And that is key when you're making a decision in regards to how you're going to launch and evolve your loyalty program and to future-proof your investment so that you have already all of that built-in flexibility, even if you're not using it today. Because one thing that is for sure, and that we've learned through the experience throughout the years, is that there's a lot of that you will want to use at some point in time as the market and your consumer changes and evolves. And then the last piece talks a little bit about, talking about all of that data that we're gathering. So just as a little summary, we talked about, we have that single master customer profile so that we identify that consumer. We're gathering all of this data. We're really segmenting and targeting those promotions and with some flexibility to keep them evolving. And we're gathering a ton of data about these consumers all of the time. And one of the challenges of big data is that it doesn't necessarily mean smart data. So it is important to be able to ask questions of the data that you're gathering to figure out what's working and what's not. Things that are working, make sure that, just, add more to those areas that are working, making sure that the things that are not working get discarded and replaced with new and fresh offerings or initiatives. Again, that part of flexibility and keeping that program renewed and fresh for the customer. And being able to watch that bottom line. So it's not only important that we're increasing the top revenue line, which of course it's a very important aspect and that clearly driven by the loyalty programs, but also making sure that we're taking care of the bottom line and making sure that we are combining effective promotions that drive these increased sales, but also drive that increased profitability to the business. And all of this data is very important, even if you're a small business owner and you want to learn it for yourself. If you're in a mid-market organization and you're trying to, tell a story inside of the organization about what's working and what's not so that it can drive changes and behaviors, all of these analytics are going to be really, really important and really flexible, really important that they are also very flexible so that you can tell that story. And then the last point about this data storytelling is that you can use that to then also tell a story externally, to be able to leverage that data and the knowledge that you gain to be able to talk to your customers in a way that lets them know that you really know, who they are, about them and their preferences, and they're going to engage with them in a relevant fashion. One of the important things here in the data storytelling is flexibility. And one of the things, for example, that we've done with the bLoyal platform is that we've extended that all of this data that we're gathering from RMS, from RMH, from your online, NitroCell or WordPress web store, is that not only do we have all of those analytics and reports within the platform, but we've also leverage, cloud-based solutions like Microsoft Power BI, which really allow you to, bolt on top of all of that data some of the most advanced technology in regards to business insights and business analytics, and being able to create those graphs and charts and dashboards that can keep you updated and informed wherever you are, even through a mobile phone at any time. And that'll allow you to, use that data in many ways, export that data to share with other systems. Again, as I was mentioning, through things like Power BI, being able to create out-of-the-box loyalty dashboards, and then also to be able to, ask those questions of your data and learn from the data that you're gathering so that you can take the actions to target and improve the offerings that you have as part of your loyalty program. But the bottom line at the end is, how do you combine all of these things? So first, making sure again that you get that single master customer view within the bLoyal platform in combination with RMS and RMH. We use a technology that we call the dynamic customer resolution that allows you to really, really effectively create and manage a single master customer profile. Then we talked about the evolving behavior of the consumer. They are engaging with you through more than 6 touch points before they make a purchase decision. So making sure that A, you are there where the consumer wants to engage with you, and B, that you have an open door for the consumer to sign up to your program through an instant reward that will greatly improve both program participation and reduce churn by up to 50%. And then as you're gathering all of this information, demographics, stated preferences, real transaction history, SKU level segmentation, being able to engage the consumer and tell those stories in a way that will make it really effective and relevant, so that you can target those customers with things that will have an impact and will generate additional purchases and additional profitable purchases, which is the ultimate goal that you want as a retailer. And then making sure that those rewards that, once you're engaging with that consumer and, he's voting for you with their dollars as they purchase from you, either in store or online, that the customer is being rewarded, and that those rewards are evolving to make sure that that customer remains engaged and, come back and buys from you for a long time. So all of these that we've talked about, these new trends that we see in the marketplace, the experiences that we've gathered from these last 10 years, and that we've made available through RMS, throughout time, have really, evolved in a very interesting way with our latest release, which is version 4 of the bLoyal platform. It is now currently available as well with Retail Management Hero. And it is a great way as you transition from RMS to RMH, or even as you want to evolve what you're doing in today with RMS, to being able to leverage all of these. And not only is it out of the box integrated with RMS and RMH, but also it allows you to integrate through all of those channels and devices. We have a concept of the bLoyal mobile snippets that allows you to surface all of this functionality in a mobile device. We do that with best of breed, e-commerce platforms like NitroCell, WooCommerce, which is built on WordPress, and for larger mid-market retailers, Magento, which is an eBay subsidiary and also one of the most widely used e-commerce platforms. So, extending your RMS and RMH investment, making that available through all of those e-commerce and mobile channels, and being able to really leverage these 5 growing trends in a smart, effective, and efficient way will help you achieve success with your loyalty programs. And with that, Corey, maybe we would want to opening it for questions. We're right here at the mark of the 30 minutes.